Estate agent Countrywide crashes 62% as it announces emergency fundraising in a bid to pay off debts. This company can't get out of the bad business. I mean, it seems like they're just constantly involved with a bad situation. We saw them about a decade ago, what happened, and it looks like these real estate companies are getting into the same mess again. We saw that with home capital being a huge problem in Canada. We saw, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac getting bailed out. Then you have Countrywide, which is just 62% crash. That's ridiculous. And it gets into more details here, but I'd like to just move on just to let you know that. U.S. farmland values hit a record despite trade fears. Now, I have gone on record many times before talking about farmland and its value. Do I think that this is a way to make passive income by having some land somewhere in the middle of nowhere? No, it doesn't do that. But it can maintain value for you. And even when general market prices decline, if you're buying in an area that's not considered a hot market, the prices don't go up or down in an exaggerated fashion. You hold on to it. Now, a lot of people, they actually try to maintain the farm, so they hire somebody, takes care of the farm, they have some sort of, let's say, animals on there or crops or anything. Somebody's taking care of that, and the money that it brings in basically pays for everything, and they can just keep it going, right? And that's an asset. It's a different type of asset, but this is possible. Many people do it. It's not there to necessarily make money, but it's there as an asset, and you have that piece of land. Maybe, I'm noticing some of these regions have very, very affordable rates for the amount they pay an acre. I mean, just look at this. You can see agricultural land values by region. This is for those living under a rock. This is the US. Land values per acre and year over year change. Okay, so depending on where you look, you can see, but I don't know if I included it here, but the price, right there. So it doesn't matter where we're looking here, whether it's 5,000, 2,000, 6,000. I'm noticing this, it's still very cheap. I mean, that's per acre. Again, that's not in the city, that's in farmland. But still, if you had a few acres, that would be very reasonable for someone to get in. They're always asking, well, I want to buy real estate, but I can't afford it. Look at this. 1.1 thousand. We're looking at, whatever. Let's say $1,000 or even $5,000 on the higher end here. People can scrounge that together and they can get an acre. Now, they're not, as I said, they're not going to necessarily make money with it, but you need to diversify your holdings. If you think you have all your holdings diversified because you have all of the letters of the FANG alphabet, you're missing a very, very big point, and that is you need to have real assets. Okay, it's essential. And some of them, like for example, precious metals, they're not going to bring you income. Farmland just sitting there in the middle of nowhere, it's not going to make you income, but it has a different attractiveness to it. Okay, so I hope I just made myself clear with that, the reason why you would want something like this. And this here is talking about the Hamptons. Okay, we got wealth in this area. There's a lot of money. The homes tend to go in the highest ranges for pricing. It's talking about specific areas, but I'll just cover a couple just to have a little fun. Median sales price declines by 5.3%. The number of sales reduced by 13% compared to last year's second quarter. All right, that is very significant. There's a downward correction in the Hamptons market. So we're talking about people that are wealthy. There's $1 million homes in this region, and it goes a lot further than that. But we're talking about people with a lot of money. It's not the people at the lowest end of the spectrum, hey, times are tough, but it's going on beyond that. People with money aren't buying, and people that have their homes that want to sell, they can't either. In this article here, it talks about the fact that people are listing for, I think the number was $20 million. They're suggesting they're probably going to have to sell at about 9 or 10 million in order to get it moving today. That, to me, is a slowdown. One of the characteristics of the high-end housing markets around the region, whether we're talking about New York City or the outlying suburbs, is a sales decline. And the Hamptons is no different. This is huge as far as I'm concerned, because that really clarifies to me that it's not just one subsection of people, that it is the general bulk of individuals today that are either getting themselves in way over their head and they're going to be in a very big problem, or they're just saying, I'm going to stay where it is that I am, whether I'm renting a place, maybe I'm in a house that I don't want to be in right now. It could be better, it could be bigger, starting a family, need a bigger home and such. But right now, stagnation is happening. The only way that they can get this to change is if they come out with a stimulus package that gets people going, maybe some sort of tax break if they buy a new home or something. Or they can create some sort of benefit to individuals by decreasing the interest rates, making it cheaper to afford the homes, things like this, okay? The government has to step in, and of course that is very dangerous. This is just a chart showing you the different sales. I'm not going to get into it, but you get the point. And last but not least, I thought this was incredible. I'm not going to touch on every single point. It is from Bloomberg. And if you want to know about what's going on in deep detail, geographically, this is fantastic. Here's how America uses its land. So I'm just going to quickly cover pasture and range is the yellow. Look how much of that is yellow. Forest is green. You can, again, see that a lot of it is green. Cropland, that's this sort of brownish color here. Special use, which is like national parks. It covers what it all breaks down, different things. Special use is the blue, so it's less to a less degree. Gray, which you can barely see, it's miscellaneous. And then urban is the pink area. Look how small the pink area is. Now, it does talk about the fact that that area is growing at a very high rate. But compare them. Compare the pasture and range, forest, and cropland. That's pretty much the entire thing. All right? So that's something I thought was really interesting to see, that the urban areas, look, if you're going to go somewhere, chances are you're going to be New York City, you're going to be Miami, you're going to be LA, maybe San Francisco, Seattle, whatever, big cities. And you keep seeing skyscrapers, you keep seeing big suburbs, you see a farm or two, maybe if you go into the outskirts, but you're not seeing the vast area of the United States in this case, where they can grow as far as I'm aware, you can grow food in all of the places, different crops appropriate, maybe need greenhouses in the wintertime and such. Maybe, there's different things that are involved with that. But we're talking about a lot of area, and we're talking about a lot of area that has yet to be, let's say, conquered by the urban sprawl. So this right here was just really telling to me. And if you scroll, actually, it's quite interesting the way it does it. It breaks it down, and then sort of the words scroll along with it, and you can see the image will change, and then the words are along with that, and it sort of sectioned it all off, which was nice. They sort of took that and then put it together as if, trying to make up the total. So you can see on the left-hand side the pasture and so on, urban being just a little part in the northeast there. Okay, and you go through this if you want, and you could see it breaks it all down. Really, really interesting. Whether you live in the United States or not, as an investor, I think you should be looking at this and thinking, what does that mean for those commodities? What does that mean for those regions? Where can they spread to? Are they being geographically sort of limited in how much they can grow? What about this or that? And you start thinking about these things. That's what it does for me anyway. I hope you enjoy that. If you do, please let me know. That's all for this video. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, you're supporting the channel. So I do appreciate that very much. And if you want the financial education you were not taught in schools, guess what? These two books have it all. You can get that at the link in the description below. And if you're more interested in the audiobook version, you can get that at themoneygps.com.